You were not born to drift. You were not meant to follow shadows or echo the noise of the crowd. You were built to build, designed to rise, wired to withstand pressure that would crumble lesser minds. But somewhere along the line, the world tried to soften you, tame you, teach you to wait your turn. They handed you silence, told you it was respect. They handed you comfort, told you it was safety. They handed you permission, told you it was humility. And now you stand at a crossroad, knowing that if you keep waiting for the right time, the right feeling, the right approval, you will die full of potential and empty of purpose. This life won't kneel before you. It won't hand you clarity in a ribbon-wrapped box. It won't slow down so you can catch up. The world moves fast, and you either build the engine or get dragged behind it. You either choose the direction or get lost in the noise. You either lead your mind, or your mind will lead you to ruin. There is no middle, no neutral ground. You are either rising or rotting. And that truth, as brutal as it sounds, is the beginning of all freedom. Because power lives in awareness, in knowing that your thoughts are not facts, your fears are not fate, your pain is not prophecy, and the voice in your head, the one whispering doubt and feeding hesitation, it only has power if you obey. So stop feeding the fear. Stop polishing the excuses. Stop reciting the same old story about what held you back. That chapter is over. Burn it. The fire will clear your path. Mindset is not about fake confidence or motivational slogans. It's war. It's the battlefield where your future is won or lost. You have to train it, sharpen it, and guard it like a weapon. Because every day you're being sold weakness. Every scroll, every click, every ad it's trying to sell you a reason to stay average. But you don't need more distraction. You need direction. You don't need more validation. You need velocity. You don't need a map. You need to move. You are not the product of your environment. You are the architect of your response. What you do when things fall apart reveals who you are when no one is watching. And if you wait for perfect conditions, you'll wait forever. If you wait to feel ready, you'll never begin. The future doesn't belong to those who wait it. It belongs to those who walk forward, even with shaking hands and an uncertain heart. Discipline is doing it scared, doing it tired, doing it again and again. And again, conviction is not loud. It's quiet. It's the decision you make in silence that echoes through your results. It's the moment you say, I will not break, no matter what tries to bend me. That's not arrogance. That's ownership. That's taking back control from every excuse that used to own you. The past? Done. The mistakes, lessons, the setbacks, fuel. Stop trying to outrun your pain. Learn to outgrow it. Clarity isn't found in thought. It's built in movement. You don't need to figure it all out before you act. You act, and in that action you discover. You fall forward. You adapt. You evolve. Vision grows with velocity, and vision matters because without it, you grind in circles. You hustle with no heartbeat. You win battles but lose the war. But when you see it clearly, vividly, unshakably, your energy changes, your posture changes, your decisions get sharper, your boundaries get stronger, and your time becomes sacred. You're not here to be busy. You're here to build. Every hour is either investment or erosion. Every yes is a trade. Every action writes your legacy. So stop asking if you're good enough and start asking if you're aligned. Aligned with what you want, with what you believe, with where you're going. Because the truth is, you won't rise by accident. You rise on purpose, with purpose. And purpose doesn't whisper, it roars. When you stop looking for shortcuts and start living for something bigger than your comfort, everything shifts. You stop reacting and start creating. You stop apologizing and start owning. Purpose is not a moment. It's a decision you remake daily. To stand up when you want to lie down. To speak truth when silence would be safer. To show up when quitting would be easier. And when you choose it, when you truly commit, your life begins to bend. The world around you starts to respond. Not because it owes you anything, but because energy moves where ownership lives. Discipline is the hammer. Purpose is the blueprint. But action is the architect. And action doesn't wait for permission. It doesn't wait for perfection. It doesn't need to be loud or seen or praised. It just moves. Every day, quietly, relentlessly, like water cutting through stone. It doesn't force. It doesn't beg. It becomes. Action is the difference between potential and power, between wishing and building, between almost and arrival. So move. Even if it's slow, even if it's messy, even if it's lonely. Movement compounds. Momentum is built in the days when no one's watching and everything feels uphill. Gratitude is not weakness. It's not soft. It's not passive. It's power, because it grounds you, anchors you, keeps your heart strong when the noise gets loud. It reminds you why you started, what you still have, what you've already survived. Gratitude doesn't make you slower. It makes you stronger. It reminds you that even when it's hard, it's still a privilege to build this life, to breathe, to try, to rise again. Flexibility isn't surrender. It's strategy. Rigidity breaks. But those who bend, those who adjust, adapt, and evolve, they last. They thrive. When plans fail, when the world shifts, when nothing goes as expected, flexibility is what keeps you in the game. Not softness, not passivity, but the intelligence to pivot without losing direction. Steel wrapped in strategy. Resilience isn't built in comfort. It's forged in chaos. You earn it in the moments that don't make headlines, the quiet nights, when doubt screams louder than vision, when you get up one more time, not because you're sure, but because quitting would mean betraying yourself. That's where grit is made. In the tension, in the pressure, in the repetition of showing up when you have every reason not to. You can't fake resilience. You live it. You bleed for it. You sweat for it. And over time, it becomes your edge, the thing no one can give you and nothing can take away. Your story isn't about ease. It's about endurance. You weren't made to glide. You were made to climb. You were made to fall and rise, fall and rise, fall and rise until the word impossible starts sounding like fuel instead of fear. The mountain isn't the enemy. It's the test, the forge. The filter, the question is never, can you reach the top? The question is, will you keep climbing when every muscle in your mind tells you to turn back? Because if you do, if you just keep placing one step after another, eventually even the sky will start to make room for your feet. But to rise, you must learn. Learn from the pain, learn from the quiet, learn from the people who doubted you and the moments that humbled you. Learning isn't passive, it's fierce. It's owning the discomfort of not knowing and turning it into fuel for becoming. It's asking better questions. It's standing in front of the mirror, not to admire, but to adjust, to sharpen, to stretch. You don't grow by chance, you grow by choice. And learning is the tool that separates growth from noise. Some will out-talk you, some will out-follow you. Some will even outshine you for a moment. But if you out-learn them, out-discipline them, outlast them, there is no competition. Because mastery isn't loud. It's earned in the shadows, when no one is watching and no one is clapping. It's built on the backs of 10,000 unseen repetitions. While others chase applause, you chase truth. While others fear judgment, you pursue growth. While others mimic, you create. Creation is the cure, the answer to overthinking, the weapon against fear. Action is your rebellion against doubt. And when you live this way awake, committed, unshaken, you become untouchable. Not because life stops hitting you, but because you stop breaking. You stop flinching at every storm and start walking straight into the wind, knowing the winds are what lift wings, not break them. You're not here to impress. You're here to impact, to leave behind more than footprints, to create echoes that last long after you're gone. And the way you do that isn't by trying to be everything to everyone. It's by becoming everything you were meant to be to the one person who matters most. The version of you who refused to settle, who refused to shrink, who said, I will not live this life asleep. So sharpen the mind, fire the spirit, strengthen the discipline, clarify the vision, fuel the action, and let every setback remind you this is the path, this is the way. This is how legacy is matter not in grand gestures, but in the relentless, day-by-day refusal to be ordinary. The dream is not something you chase at, something you become. And becoming is brutal. It demands sacrifices that others won't see. It requires faith that looks foolish until it works. You'll lose people. You'll lose comfort. You'll lose versions of yourself that once felt like home. But you'll gain something more. You'll gain the fire, the edge, the reason you wake up without needing a reminder. And that fire will burn through limits, through noise, through doubt and light, the road for others to follow. That's how leaders are made. Not in title, but in choice. Not in status, but in struggle. Not in perfection, but in persistence. Persistence isn't motivation. It's not feeling good. It's not hype. It's quiet, ruthless, built on days when you didn't want to, fueled by the moments no one clapped for. You keep showing up, not because you feel like it, but because you said you would. That's what separates contenders from pretenders. Most people love the idea of greatness. Few are willing to suffer for it. But you, if you're still here then, you are not most people. You are the exception. And exceptions don't follow rules. They rewrite them. They don't ask what's possible, they decide it. They don't need a crowd, they need a cause. And if you want the world to hear you, speak with action. Speak with results. Speak with a consistency that silences every doubter and drowns out every lie that said you weren't enough. Because you are enough. Not in some soft self-help way. You are enough because you choose to become more. You are enough because you wake up and fight even when the fight isn't fair. You are enough because you've already survived things that were meant to destroy you. So carry that. Don't let it weigh you down. Let it make you heavier when you hit. Let it give weight to every word, every move, every moment. Live like your name will outlast your heartbeat. Move like your life is the message. Think like your thoughts are the roots of your future. You don't need a finish line to start. You don't need a crowd to matter. You don't need to see the whole staircase to take the first brutal, sacred, necessary step. Start now and never stop. No one will hand it to you. No one will build it for you. And no one will live it in your place. This is your mission, your moment. And no matter how many distractions scream for your attention, how many obstacles stand in your way, or how loud the silence gets when you're walking alone, this is still your path to walk. Own it, every inch, every scar, every victory they'll never see, because power doesn't come from being seen. It comes from staying the course when no one's watching. Don't chase balance, chase alignment. Chase the days that feel like war and make you stronger for it. Chase the grind that sharpens your instincts. Chase the vision so big it scares the small version of you. And when doubt shows up, and it will, don't negotiate with it. Don't invite it in for coffee. Stare it down. Let it speak, then keep moving. Doubt never built empires. Fear never created leaders. Comfort never changed the world. Greatness is built in solitude. It's built when you choose growth over gossip, depth over attention, and vision over validation. Every time you turn down the noise of the world and turn up the voice of your conviction, you get closer, closer to clarity, closer to power, closer to who you were built to become, and becoming. It's not about arrival. It's about the relentless pursuit, the refusal to slow down, the hunger that wakes you up before the world and keeps you building long after others rest. Stop waiting for the right conditions. Stop hoping the storm will pass. Learn to move through it. Learn to build in the rain. Learn to dance in the thunder. Life doesn't get easier. You get stronger. You get smarter. You get more ruthless with your time and more generous with your energy. But only when you decide. Decide that your potential is not a theory. It's a weapon. And the only one who can use it is you. You want results? Sacrifice for them. Not once. Not twice. Every damn day. Sacrifice your ego, your distractions, your comfort. Sacrifice the need to be liked, to be understood, to be safe. Because those things, the applause, the agreement, the cozy little box, they are the prison. And you were not built for prison. You were built to rise through it, to use the walls as leverage, to turn your cage into a launch pad. They will not see you coming, because most of them are looking at the loud ones, the flashy ones, the ones posting and pretending. Let them. While they're performing, you're building. While they're talking, you're mastering. While they're scrolling, you're climbing. Until the day your name doesn't need to be introduced because your results speak before you enter the room. You want power? Earn it. Want peace? Discipline your mind, want freedom, take full responsibility. That means no more blaming, no more waiting, no more wishing. From this moment forward, every excuse is a lie, every delay is a cost, every soft decision is a betrayal. And the clock, it's not waiting for your confidence. It's moving with or without you. So ask yourself, what are you waiting for? The perfect plan? The guarantee? The applause? Forget all of it. All you need is a reason to burn, a reason to move when nothing makes sense, a reason to keep going when your hands are shaking and your legs want to quit. That reason is everything. Find it, feed it, fight for it. Your purpose won't yell. It won't beg. It won't chase you. But it will whisper. And if you're still long enough, clear enough, honest enough, you'll hear it. And when you do, let it become your fuel. Let it light a fire so powerful it scares your limitations. Let it become your obsession. Because once you're obsessed with becoming everything you were meant to be, nothing else tastes right. Not mediocrity, not approval, not comfort, nothing. And yes, it will be lonely sometimes. Yes, you'll outgrow people. Yes, you'll have to walk away from the places and patterns that once felt like home. Growth demands it, progress costs. But what you gain in return, clarity, power, peace, momentum, will change everything. You'll walk different, talk different, think different, because you'll know who you are. And that knowing is unshakable. So stop looking sideways. Stop measuring yourself by someone else's pace. Their path is not yours. Their timeline is irrelevant. The only comparison that matters is who you were yesterday versus who you are becoming today. That's the race. That's the game. That's the only scoreboard that counts. And when you play it, really play it, you begin to see how unstoppable you've always been. You weren't created for small plans. You weren't wired for average. Everything inside you, from your instincts to your pain, was designed to push you further, stronger, higher, but only if you stop hiding. Only if you stop folding. Only if you stop asking for directions from people who've never been where you're going. Their fear is not your map. Their comfort is not your home. Their doubt is not your ceiling. This life, it responds to courage. It bows to resilience. It honors those who walk with conviction. So walk like you mean it, speak like it matters. Move like your dreams depend on it, because they do. The next level isn't gifted. It's claimed, fought for, bled for, and no one can give it to you. You must take it, not with noise, not with ego, but with relentless, focused, disciplined action again and again and again. You're not tired. You're uninspired. You're not broken. You're buried. Buried beneath noise, buried beneath comfort, buried beneath a world that told you to wait your turn. But somewhere deep inside, the fire still breathes. Faint, maybe, quiet, maybe, but not gone, never gone. It's still there, waiting for you to stop living on autopilot and start living on purpose. And when you wake that fire, when you stop numbing and start naming the life you want, everything changes. You stop blaming time and start mastering it. You stop waiting for motivation and start moving through discipline. You stop begging for peace and start building it inside. You stop chasing success and you become it. It won't be instant. It won't be linear. And it sure as hell won't be easy. But it will be worth it. Every scar, every tear, every fight you thought would end you, but only sharpened you. That pain, it's not your prison, it's your passport. Proof that you've walked through fire and didn't burn, you forged. You forged a mind that doesn't flinch, a soul that doesn't fold, a vision that doesn't blink. Look around. The world is asleep, comfortable, distracted, dreaming about lives they'll never fight for. But not you. You're awake now, and that awareness is your weapon. See things clearly. See the cost of inaction. See what happens if you don't change. See the regret before it arrives. Let it punch you in the gut. Let it rip the lies from your comfort zone. Let it remind you that someday isn't a day. And time is watching. Watching to see if you'll keep running from your greatness. Watching to see if you'll waste your one shot on fear and familiarity. Watching to see if you'll rise not for attention, not for applause, but because you finally understood this life is not a rehearsal. This moment is not a warm-up. This is it. This is the storm. This is the rise. This is the reckoning. And you are ready. You don't need more time. You need more truth. You don't need more chances. You need more courage. And you don't need more motivation. You need a mirror. Stand in front of it. Stare at it until you see what's been there all along. A fighter, a builder, a mind so powerful it can rewrite history if you stop doubting it. You've been told to think small, act safe, blend in, but now you know that version of you wasn't the truth. It was the training wheels. It was the blueprint. Now it's time to build the skyscraper. Rise like your last name means something. Speak like your words shape the next generation. Show up like the entire world is watching, because even if it isn't, your future is. Your future self is waiting for you to stop being loyal to your limitations, to stop being faithful to your fears, to stop protecting a version of you that was built in survival and start becoming the version that thrives in fire. You don't need a new year. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a decision, a real one, the kind you feel in your bones, the kind that scares the excuses out of you, the kind that makes you walk different, talk different, think different, and when you decide finally, ferociously, the world moves, not because it's magic, but because you are. Don't wait to feel ready. You won't. Don't wait to feel brave. You don't need to. You just need to move. Move messy, move tired, move angry, move uncertain, but move. Because movement turns fear into fuel. Movement turns confusion into clarity. Movement turns hope into habits. And habits are the real builders, not dreams, not goals, habits. So make your life a ritual. Make your days a weapon. Make your routine so strong that nothing, no failure, no insult, no setback can break through it. That's how you win. You win by being too consistent to fail, too focused to be shaken, too clear to be distracted, too determined to be denied. And when they ask you someday how you did it, how you built the life, the legacy, the fire, they'll expect a secret. But there won't be one. There'll just be the truth, the hours, the grind, the decision to keep walking when most people would sit down and stay there, the decision to lead yourself before you tried to lead anyone else, the decision to stay humble enough to learn and hungry enough to never settle. Let them laugh, let them doubt, let them sleep. While they dream, you build. While they talk, you train. While they quit, you rise. And when the lights come on, when the dust clears, when the world finally looks your way, it won't be luck they see. It won't be talent. It'll be evidence. The evidence of a life owned, a path walked, a fire never put out. So stop asking if you're ready. You are. Stop asking if you're worthy. You are. Stop asking if this is your moment. It is. Not because it's perfect, but because you're finally done playing small, because you're finally done asking for permission, because you're finally ready not to chase success, but to become it.